They've lost heart, been injured, or just realised that the life of a commando is not for them. The numbers in 924 Troop are dwindling.
The strong are still surviving.
Halfway through the 32 weeks of training, 29 out of 50 recruits have fallen by the wayside. Terry John, however, and against all the odds, is going from strength to strength, and despite huge challenges in front of him, is feeling almost invincible.
It would have to be a dead serious injury to stop me, honestly.
Right, boys, line out, get your notebooks out.
And we meet Bertie Carr, a young officer in the final stages of training who will soon realise a boyhood ambition. Move! To be a frontline soldier in a real war zone.
Move back! Break it out.
For the recruits left in 924 Troop, the bonds have got stronger as the training has got tougher.
Hey, Ogden, come on, mate!
Terry John wanted to leave the day he arrived, but now he's determined to make it all the way through, as long as it's with his beloved 924 Troop. But his childhood friend, Theo Brown, has decided to quit. He was put back into a more junior troop after failing a crucial gym test. But he missed his friends in 924 Troop badly.
I couldn't find the courage to go on after being back troop. And then with the troop that I was with at present, I can't feel motivated and I just couldn't perform.
2, 3, 4.
How does Terry feel about you going?
Well, he's a bit upset, but he would make it, I know he would make it, but...
Right, are you going to miss him?
I would miss him. I would miss down here. I've really enjoyed my time down here. It's a good experience I would take with me.
4 mags. No doubt I will miss him. My friend for years now came together from St. Vincent. I'd be ashamed to know that both of us came here from the same place and not one of us has proved to them that we're strong enough to make it. So I'm doing this both for me and my people. If he had been with 924, honestly, he'd make the effort, he'd put the effort in. But, you know, for different reasons, life takes us down different paths, and this is where we, you know, branch off down the road of life.
The road of life for Royal Marine recruits is nothing if not exciting, and that goes for young officers in training as well. Riot control exercises as violent as the real thing are designed to give these future leaders of men a taste of what they may face, and to understand better what they may have to order their own men to go into. Bertie Carr is one such young officer, who, nearing the end of 15-month training, has just been told his first deployment will be to the front line in Afghanistan.
I'm very excited. It's every young officer's dream, first deployment, to go straight out on operations. But that's not to say we're all sort of, gung-ho and want to get out there. Want to get out there and do some good, try and sort of put things right. I mean, at the moment, it's in quite a dire situation, so hopefully we can get out and calm things down a bit. A lot of our guys have been killed in Afghanistan. The press is focusing on it, and it is daunting. You're going out to command 30, 35 commandos on operations, on an operation which is extremely heated at the moment. But I've got all this training behind me. I know I can do the job, and I know I've got good guys under my command who will probably just carry it off for me.
Bertie's training as a Royal Marines Commando has been as comprehensive as it's been challenging. Being part of the Royal Navy, of course, he's been highly trained in amphibious warfare and invasion tactics, and become accomplished at coastal assault, infiltration and sabotage. Commandos specialise at operating in the dark and behind enemy lines, inflicting maximum damage through surprise attack. As a commando, Bertie's had to get used to fighting in extreme conditions.
Suppress the enemy!
Cold weather warfare in sub-zero temperatures. And now, just a week after his taste of riot control, I follow Bertie and his fellow young officers to the sweltering subtropical jungles of southern Virginia in the USA. Here they will sharpen their battle instincts against American Marines in the lead-up to frontline action in Afghanistan. The Americans, our enemy on this exercise, are somewhere in this dense forest, and we have to find them before they find us. It's an intense game of cat and mouse in temperatures of well over 100 degrees.
Bertie's pretty sure that the enemy strength is around here somewhere. We've just got to locate them. Now the trouble is that this undergrowth makes so much noise that it could be heard from a mile away. Somewhere goes to the enemy as well, I suppose.
Soon we make a discovery. Discarded American ration packs. A sure sign that we're on the right tracks.
Bertie, the Americans leave all their cash around like that.
I know, it's very bad soldiering. It just means you can pick up a trail, no problem. Those ration packs, they look pretty fresh. Because if they've been out for more than a couple of days, then they'd have got lots of crap all over them. So you pretty much know that they're using this area.
In Devon, 924 Troop are on the ranges for marksman tests over 100, 200 and 300 metres.
Detail on the point. Stop! Unload!
But so far, they're not impressing their instructors.
Oh, I'm going to lose it in a minute. I can feel it going, bubbling like a fucking volcano. Yeah, I know.
These are vital tests, and anybody who does not pass by the end of the day will be out of the troop.
Things in the Corps, and I told you all early on in training, things in the Corps we pride ourselves on, mainly our fizz, yeah? But it's completely useless if you can run across the battlefield and you're the fittest soldier in the world if you can't shoot those targets. Fellas, I'd much rather have someone that's a dead-eye dick shot in my troop than the fizz ninja. Because at the end of the day, when you get there and you come to fight the enemy, if you can't fucking hit him, it's about as much use as tits on fish. All right, fellas? There's no reason anyone here should fail today. That's all.
Bertie!
We've spotted the enemy.
Put your weapon down! Put your weapon down! Put your fucking hands up!
In Virginia, the discarded rubbish has led us to a single American soldier. He is immediately taken as a prisoner of war.
1-1 Charlie. We made contact with the enemy. No shots fired. No shots fired.
Have a leg up.
Anything good, Andy?
Right, check that map. We'll keep that map. Yeah, the map's marked.
Question now is, what do we do with it? Do we crack on with our own task, or do we concentrate on this? Because we're getting some good intelligence from this. And so, I think I'm going to stick with this. We're probably going to withdraw to where we've just come from and send our patrols from there.
Whilst the prisoner is interrogated, we move slowly and stealthily forward through the thick undergrowth. The enemy have to be nearby.
This might be an exercise in the forests of Virginia, but it's not difficult to transpose this to Iraq or Afghanistan, the enemy, Al-Qaeda or Taliban.
Stop! Unload! Stand up, square yourselves away. Listening for your scores.
Lane 1. Where's Recruit John? Recruit John, just need to pay attention. You're hitting the target and then letting things go the last sort of 3 or 4 shots at each shoot.
Yeah. Right, we'll go again. How many times is that?
That was their 3rd attempt. John on hold until he hits 5.
I might send him out, mate, because he's been on the point for like an hour, 2 hours.
Do you want to ask him?
run him through once more. If he fucking fails it again, we'll send him away, get him to have a word with himself, run him through once more now and see what happens.
He's getting so worried about being back-trooped, and that's not what he should be thinking about. It should be about thinking about range work, hitting the target, marksmanship principles, everything we've taught him, and not thinking about back-trooping. There's no reason that they can't be hitting, 10 out of 10 for every shoot.
So you need to get that one.
Can you say where I messed up?
You messed up by joining the Royal Marines and starting training. I'm joking, John, don't start crying.
Terry's having real problems and needs to take a break. Too many of his shots are going wide, though it's been drummed into him by now that in the heat of battle, every bullet will have to count. In Virginia, the enemy have spotted the young Royal Marine officers and launch an ambush. Bertie and his men pull back, a dramatic reminder that on the front line, it's kill or be killed.
Wish I didn't have to kill, but just do my job. At the end of the day, we all people, yeah, we all human. No matter what colour, no matter what race, no matter what's the problem, we're supposed to come together, but it doesn't happen, so that's why we're here to try and bring it together. Someday, all this might be over and we wouldn't have to have like Marines and we wouldn't have to have people that kill, we would just have people for security purposes only and all that.
Do you think that day will ever come to it?
It's far-fetched, honestly. Might never happen. But at least we could do is try. At least we could do is try. At least we could do is try.
Good, John.
On his 6th attempt, Terry gets his eye in, though Hamish Robb, the mischievous corporal, isn't about to let him know immediately.
Everyone, both of you now, grab another magazine, 20 rounds. Go again. No, I'm only joking, lads. You both passed. Whee! If you'd have done that 4 hours ago, we'd be sitting at home now.
Yeah. How many rounds you fired through?
So, Terry passes the range test. A huge relief to the person more desperate than anyone to stay in 924 Troop.
I've got a mag of 20.
Finally. The shells up there all mine. I'll be here. You can't get rid of me. I'll be here for long. I honestly wanted to whip myself. I wanted to go and take a peek. But I don't know if it's because of nervousness, but I honestly wanted to be able to whip myself up there, go down in the trench.
In Virginia, the young officers have survived the ambush, but the enemy has melted back into the forest. Tomorrow, Bertie and his men will be wary of further attack as they attempt to move through treacherous swampland. "924 Troop are doing what are called dunker drills, a day of being dunked and half drowned in a simulated helicopter crash. This is, of course, in case they ever have to ditch in water.
Not sure how realistic it is, but I'm about to find out, so it should be good fun.
How about you, Terry? Are you looking forward to it?
Me? No, I'm not.
Terry's loving it, look at him.
No,
Can't wait.
I just want to get over it. At least the water's warm, but I'm still going to die. I'm shaking, but I'll be alright.
I'll pull you up, mate.
Pull me out.
Yeah, if there's any problem, I'll pull you up.
In the oppressive heat of the Virginia forests, the Royal Marine young officers would sell their grandmothers to be doing dunker drills right now. Instead, they're going to have to wade through stinking, snake-infested swamps to rendezvous with a helicopter coming in to extract them. And although their enemy are the US Marines, they are nonetheless going to join forces today with a section of the Americans so they can get used to working together.
Joseph, is that right? Hi, Bertie. I'm
nice to meet you.
The troop commander here.
Right on.
Just this commando point. I'll give you a quick brief. If you guys just want to get in the gaggle, just over here.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead and ground your shit.
It's my intent to have this troop safely extracted to Camp Barrett by 1900 this evening. There's at least a troop-sized worth of enemy operating on the ground, and we know they do have the capability to lay ambushes, as one of our patrols got hit yesterday. So on this route out, it's very likely that we're going to get hit, and so our drills need to be squared away. Everyone needs to know what we need to do.
Right, section commanders, can you make sure your lines are clear? There's no gash left, no equipment.
The Anglo-American force prepare for a long yomp through forest and swamp to get to the helicopter pickup point. But already, some are suffering from the crippling heat and humidity.
A lot of the guys have got prickly heat, which it's just like sharp, stinging pains into your back. It's when you've been sweating so much and you're sort of not washing properly. And everyone's got mosquito bites and blisters and sores and everything, but so there's always the danger that someone may go down, dehydration, sort of heat exhaustion. There's always the threat from that.
As Bertie heads for the swamps, Terry prepares to crash land. The main thing will be not to panic, especially as the helicopter will turn over underwater as it would do in real life.
Ready one all, ready 1 2, race, race, race!
In a situation like this, it's easy to lose all sense of where is up and where is down, as here with a frogman needing to pull out one disorientated recruit swimming towards the depths. Terry, one of the last out, bobs up safely and with evident relief.
Mate, it's fast as a force man out.
On the other side of the swamps, a couple of the American Marines are being immersed in water too, but for very different reasons. Their core body temperatures have rocketed and dehydration has set in, which at this level could be fatal.
All it was is we were patrolling along, we noticed a couple of the guys, people started pinpointing, obviously looking red in the face, out of breath, so we knew we were going to have a problem. So all we've done is give them some glucose gel and try and bring them in here, cool them down. We've called for a vehicle to pick them up before we move off and crack on with the patrol. About 115, pretty hot. Before you out now, we'll grab your kit and that, sit you in the shade, check you over again.
Fun. And fun. When you go upside down, you don't like it. It's not something to do, go upside down underwater.
The first time I let go of the window, didn't know where the fuck I was going, I fucking hit the roof, hit the floor, hit the seats. He just grabbed me with the fucking fingers there. I was like, fucking mate, I was panicking. Just watching the wheel film.
At last, Bertie, Carr and co. reach the helicopter extraction point. They're on their way out of the forest. The American casualties will be leaving another way, but not before, somewhat unceremoniously, they have their temperatures taken.
So you're trained as a medic also?
Yeah. The Marines head off for a hot shower and food. The casualties, well, they'll be taken to hospital for immediate rehydration. War game's over, and exhausted Bertie Carr catches up on sleep. He and his fellow young officers will now have a brief period to relax before preparations begin for their deployment to Afghanistan. A week later, Terry John is on weekend leave at his guardian's house back in Derby.
This is our lovely little mansion right there, Chris.
It's Terry's 21st birthday, 1 year older, and 1 day closer to his dream of becoming a fully fledged Royal Marine Commando.
I can't wait to hear my name say, well done Marine, this. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what I want. Well done Marine, not well done recruit. Marine job, yeah. Be lovely. Be lovely.
Terry's best friend, Theo Brown, who shares the same guardians in Derby, was trying to come up for the day, but it looks like he can't make it after all.
I rang him because I told him I will. So I called him to make sure he's all right, and he says he's okay, but I can hear in his voice that he's not okay. But he's that type of person. Even if there's something wrong with him, he'd say there's nothing wrong with him, and that's just like me as well. That's why we're so much friends, because we almost like behave the same way. If there's something dead wrong with me, I'd still tell you I'm all right. But I think that sometimes when we're together, yeah, it just makes him better. It makes me better as well being around him, because we know each other so much. We could say and do anything to each other, and it wouldn't have any effect on our relationship and all that.
To be honest, they've been friends for so long, and this is the first time they've been separated really for a long time. Yeah. So I mean, this is the first real separation they've had. I was very worried about Terry because I know in the beginning they planned to do it together and they wanted to start and finish together. Yeah.
He told us last night as well, didn't he? We had a really long chat to him last night, and he said he wasn't going to mess up and he was going to go through, and he knows he's going to go through on his own. He will have a few more ups and downs, I know he will, but he will get through it.
Terry himself is a very strong character, and I think he'll make an excellent Marine, really.
On the other side of the country, in Brecon in Wales, Bertie is also on weekend leave and grabs one of the last chances he will get to visit family and friends before his passing out ceremony and then his immediate deployment to the front line in Afghanistan.
It's not something you'd want for your son, but on the other hand, he's profoundly happy doing it. And you can't sort of say, well, I mean, I don't think it's crossed either our mind to say, you mustn't do this. I'd have wanted to a bit.
Try to give him an option here and there.
Yes, which he's conspicuously failed to take, hasn't he? Yeah.
If you really don't want to do this,
you don't have to.
You don't have to.
And,
he made up his mind to do this when he was about 5. And first bit of writing he did, almost.
Which I think it was one of those standard letters that he was invited to write to his primary school teacher. You know, what I do when I grow up.
Do you want to read it then?
Okay, it says, when I grow up, I'm going to be a Royal Marine because I would like to be in a war and because my dad was in the Navy and I would like to copy him a bit. I might jump out of an aeroplane or I might even jump off a cliff.
Yep. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then some colouring inside the lines.
Colouring in.
That's lovely. Oh, entitled When I Grow Up.
Yeah, When I Grow Up.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, so if I stuck true.
Bertie has always been a high achiever and a perfectionist. Throughout his school days and since, his love of a challenge has never failed to impress his older brother and sister.
We're constantly in awe of Bert. When he comes home, he's always done something new to excellence. And I think that even for Bertie, this is something else. It's something that we can't possibly relate to.
Yeah.
And I think it's that it's... Well, you don't want to put down anyone else who's out there, do you? But at the same time, we know Bertie's such a high caliber person that...
Yeah, he'll do a good job.
Yeah. He'll do an amazing job. I mean, like I say, everyone's got their own ideas about the war, but I mean, if we're going to be out there, then I'm happy that people like Bertie are going to be out there, because they're people that could actually make a difference.
It's the old friends, isn't it?
Is that the girl from that's outside before?
Should be. How did you get here, mate? How did you get here? Please, I'm a helo.
We made you cry now.
Convinced that Theo wouldn't be able to make it to his birthday, Terry is completely overcome by his best friend's arrival.
You're a big boy, stop crying. Smile. Laugh. You'll be alright, mate. You'll be alright. Don't be alright. Theo, be alright. You make me cry. That's not good to make me cry. I'm not supposed to be crying.
Guys are allowed to cry sometimes.
Straight. Wait. Put your backside up. They're waiting for you.
Most of the recruits of 924 Troop have struggled with training at the Commando base at Lympstone. But then it is the toughest military training in the world and preparation for frontline action in Afghanistan. It's not for the faint-hearted.
At first, you don't get why people are shouting at you and so intent that you have to do everything so perfect. But it's pretty quick you realise why they're doing that. Yeah. Everyone's going to have a certain amount of apprehension if they're really honest with themselves. But, I mean, that's what the training's there for, isn't it? To minimise that.
That's why I'm depending on the training team. I'm putting all my trust in the training team.
We've got a good team, to be honest with you.
To give us the best. Because in the end, if they give us the best, and they are the best, then we go out there, what do you think would be? Nothing but the best, yeah? The best trained, and we go out there as a good group of men.
With days to go to his own deployment to Afghanistan, Bertie Carr is on final operational training, designed to give him and all military personnel going to the front line very specific insights into the theatre of war they're about to enter. He is now going to learn through role play the huge problems of fighting in a country where the enemy and innocent civilians are often indistinguishable.
It's given them a small snippet of what they're going to get used to out in Afghanistan. The thing with Afghanistan now, you've got two massive flip sides of the coin. One is peace support operations, interacting with the local population, trying to gain their support, and you've got war fighting. The Taliban are happy to attack soldiers.
So, here's the scenario. A British outpost is faced with a car full of Afghanis firing their weapons out of the window. It looks threatening, but what the sentries haven't been told is that this is just a typical Afghanistan wedding party celebrating the day.
Stop there! Stop! If you move any further forward, we'll consider you a threat. Stop! Don't get the interpreter. I want you to say, don't move any further forward, please. If they move any further forward, they're a direct threat to us, and we'll have to take action against them. Stop! Move back! If you move any further forward, we'll consider you a threat. Stop! Guys, if anyone moves towards or away from the car, you're entitled to open fire. We've done warning shots and we've warned them, okay? Fire, guys!
A sudden movement prompts an order to open fire.
Fucking shoot him! He's now fucking up for murder.
Stop!
Okay, let's move back in. Go on, Commander! QLF Commander, if you want to take your troops in.
For Bertie's team, the exercise is over, but they must now explain why they reacted the way they did. Why they opened fire.
This'll be fun. Where were you, given the scenario you were based?
In Kabul.
Kabul. When did you open fire?
When you see the person as a threat to yourself or...
As a threat or
endangering life.
Endangering life, or about to endanger life, and there's no further way of
stopping them,
preventing that danger from happening. Yeah. Who fired the shots?
Well, I believe they were firing up towards the Sanger position, and I wasn't going to take a chance if him might not hit or not. So I opened fire.
Okay. Was that in your eyes a contact, or was he just firing up in the air?
Well, I wasn't.
Was it a contact, or was he firing up in the air?
I wasn't entirely sure.
He wasn't entirely sure, so you killed him anyway.
Yeah.
You've now gone political. There'd have been Whitehall knocking on the gates of whoever's going, what the fucking hell has gone on there? All right, can you understand how...
I took the course of action I deemed at the time right. It's better to have done it now, I suppose, you know, so I can obviously have a debrief. There's not, you know, I looked, you know, a bit silly in front of the DS, but it's something that I can take away, that there's maybe something I need to spend a little bit more time on.
Was he endangering your life? No. Was he endangering... I'm not sure. Right, you've now killing someone for not being sure. That means you fucking murdered him.
That's what it's going to be like when we get out to the unit, isn't it? You know, we've done the driving test, now it's going to be...
Yeah, so now you have to take the wheel by yourself.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. See how we react, you know, on our own.
And trash Dad's car.
Yeah, hope not.
With deployment to the front line imminent, there are still important lessons to be learned. Afghanistan is clearly a complicated place to live in, and even more complicated to fight in. The recruits of 924 Troop will have the same lessons to learn when they head out to Afghanistan in about 17 weeks' time. At least those who manage to get through the rest of training, which is about to go up a gear in no uncertain terms.
Everyone is at a stage now that they know that we're going to go through loads of stuff, but some of them are already prepared in their mind to like do it and just get on. It doesn't matter what comes
You're going to do
now.
it. The only thing that's going to get anyone now, if you've got to this stage, is injury.
Injury, honestly,
and
injury is the only
that's
thing
going to
that's
happen. I mean, if you look how many people we've lost already, and it's phase 2 where you get all the bad injuries. So,
me, injury it would have to be a dead serious injury to stop me, honestly. No matter if I'm behind in a speed march, I'm not getting in any like van vehicle behind picking people up. I'd run if I have to just to pass.
Speed marching is done in full fighting order. That means carrying 21 pounds of ammunition and equipment, plus a 10-pound assault rifle. To be able to move like this, at speed and with your troop, can be vital for survival on the battlefield. Today, the recruits must complete 4 miles in under 40 minutes.
Who's not been out to Afghanistan before? OK, good. First of all, give you a quick tour.
Bertie and Sam, meanwhile, still on their last-minute brush-up before deployment to the front line, are about to be acquainted with one of the greatest dangers they and their men are likely to face.
Okay, Afghanistan is the heaviest mined area on the planet, and that's been added to daily. Your anti-vehicle mines, their main operating system is to form a molten slug to come up through the base of the vehicle and then out through the top. It causes a vacuum inside, and due to the force of the vacuum, rip limbs, okay, from the torso.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
924 Troop are well into their stride, but the legs will be starting to burn. The recruits work hard at keeping pace and rhythm, because nobody wants to end up in the blood wagon, hovering to pick up casualties and stragglers.
All right, anti-personnel mine can cost as little as $3. All right, it doesn't need to be fed, it doesn't get paid, it just sits there waiting. So if you step on it, you're going to lose your foot. If you lean on it, you lose your arm.
Come on, well done.
Halfway through the speed march, and to everyone's amazement, Terry, probably the most determined recruit of 924 Troop, is beginning to struggle. He's digging deep, but it's clearly hurting.
Come on, Terry. Good man. Get closed up now, fellas, everywhere.
Okay, starting on your feet, what we're looking for is any mine fuses, the presence of tripwires, disturbed ground. Once you've done that, we're going to prod, all right? Now, what angle do we prod at? Okay, we prod at 30 degrees. If we do hit a mine, we're hoping to hit the side of it first, the edge. If not, and we do hit the base plate, okay, because we're coming at a shallow angle, okay, we just run off the top of it.
Come on, Recruit John, get up there.
For Terry, things are going from bad to worse. Nearing the end of the run and almost delirious, he calls on his mother to give him strength.
Oh, my mum. Do it. Mummy.
Come on, get up here, get up here.
Mummy.
Get up here now.
Mummy.
Come on. What?
Terry makes a last gasp run for home. He's given everything he had, but is it enough? Has he made it in the required time?
Well done, Terry. Keep walking, John. Hands on your hips.
Okay, and once you're happy with that, okay, leave the mine prodders in the ground. Remember, you need to practice your drills. This is not enough. You need to practice. Okay, if you grab your equipment, okay, and thanks very much for your time. Cheers.
Bertie's got just one more day of specialist preparation for the front line. In less than a week, he and his fellow young officers will pass out of training. Deployment to their unit, 4-2 Commando in Afghanistan, will be almost immediate.
They've got to confirm the flights and everything, but at the moment it's 3 days after we pass out. It's the flying date. So
it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a baptism of fire, isn't it? But
yeah,
that's what we all joined for, and the 4-2's the unit which most people stuck down.
Yeah, speaking to the guys here, when they're here, you pass out one day and go straight out in operations 3 days later. They're all sort of, well, that's what you want. That's
what it's
the
all
best
about,
way of doing it. Yeah.
So it's pass out, hooray, bit of celebration, and then.
Yeah, not sure how much.
Recover from the hangover.
Yeah.
Ring up the parents.
See you in April.
Two of you, good effort. You made it if you didn't do it in the time.
Terry's final sprint for the line was too little, too late.
All it is a matter of shaving 2 or 3 minutes off that time, OK? Come on, lads, hurry up.
But there is one last opportunity, a rerun tomorrow, and it'll be do or die. Terry's last chance to stay in 924 Troop.
Heads up, right?
If I fail it, then I won't be with the troop. I will be back troop, and that's not a part of my plan. So tomorrow, whether or not my legs want to take me, I'm going. They have to be broken for me not to make it tomorrow. I'm going to get it cracked.
It's 6 o'clock on a cold, windy morning, and the rerun of the 4-mile speed march for those that failed yesterday. Failure today means instant dismissal from the troop, Terry John's greatest fear. The instructors ensure their ammunition belt and pouches are exactly the right weight.
This one feels a bit fucking light. Is it? Yeah. Was he having a laugh? How light? What was it? How much was it? Hey? How much was it? 20.
What weight got to be?
21 pounds. That one's just 20.
Where all the demos are done.
John, it's yours.
And just preparing what you can.
John, it's underway, alright? Go and get something else to put into it and then bring it back to me.
Not a good start for Terry. With seconds to go before the speed march begins, he grabs some rocks to get his weight up.
March. Left, right, left. And stay along with me the whole time.
I like it to show you something in this presentation, and after then we are to pronounce this one together.
For Bertie Carr, it's also an early start. He must learn some key words and phrases for the front line.
Waslakizda. Waslakizda. Das makawa.
They've just started. It's going to be a huge challenge for Terry.
Right, left.
La suna porta. La suna porta. Mashora. Mashora. Mashora.
John, you can do this physically, it's just down to your brain. You need to believe that you can. Come on, get up here.
Terry is falling back. Once again, his legs seem to be failing him. Or is it all in his head?
It's all in the mind, Terry, come on.
Drish. 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 Delta Russia. Delta Russia.
Yeah, well, everybody's a bit of pain, John. Right, how much of a pain do you want?
No problem.
Right, well, let's do it then. Start running, John.
Za. Kena. Kshena. Sabaroka.
Open your legs, you cannot afford to walk.
Terry must run, or he'll be hauled into the blood wagon following behind, signalling the end for him in 924 Troop.
Marmi. Bam. Mine.
Come on, open your legs. Minimum motivation, come on.
Mashora. Wadareja.
Come on, John, get up here. You cannot afford to walk. Right, get in the wagon. Get in the wagon. Put him in the wagon. Get in the wagon. Get in the wagon. No. Can't allow that, Corporal. Can't allow that. Get in the wagon. John, you fell. Get in the wagon. No. But John, it's not the end of the world. Go and get.
You remember in the middle of this was one word, Inshallah. Inshallah, in Afghanistan is coming peace and democracy, and Afghan people never ever forget your support. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best, my friend, and good luck to you.
No.
So it just feels so bad now, it won't feel like this tomorrow.
No, honestly, Chris, no. I don't know what's wrong, Chris. Honestly. No. Should have done it the first time. The first time I tried really hard as well, but my legs just won't carry me. My legs just won't. I can't do it again, Chris. I can't do it again.
Well, you've done it once, so you can do it again.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it, honestly. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. I'm gonna get back to you, man. I can't. No. I'm not let myself. I can't leave my friends. I can't make new friends either, no.
Oh, Terry, you can.
No, I won't let myself, honestly. I'm leaving, Chris. I'll get back to you. I'm leaving. Obviously, I'm going to get back to you now. Obviously, I am. But I won't stay, Chris, honestly. No.
At last, it's passing out day for Bertie and his fellow young officers. And just 3 days before many of them, including Bertie, leave for Afghanistan.
Mr. Carr, sir, going to 4-2 Commando.
So, travelling next week? Looking forward for the challenge?
Very much so, sir.
Yeah. You've got a really busy year ahead of you. Make the most of it, because it'll fly by. And put into practice all that's gone on here. Good luck and well done. Well done.
Mr. Lee, sir, going to FPG.
Terry is moving his things out of the accommodation block. He's decided not to leave Royal Marine training, but to his great dismay, he's no longer a member of 924 Troop.
Group John failed his 4-mile and 4-mile rerun, so into Hunter Company for fizz and more fizz until he can crack it. Hunter Company is for if they fail anything professionally in terms of their administration, their weapons handling, or physically in terms of their fitness, and he'll just get fizz, he'll get beasted sort of day after day, and his fitness will go through the roof until he can crack the speed march, no problem. As soon as he can crack that, then he'll be put back into training, join another troop, and carry on.
It can be rough here sometimes, can't it?
No, everyone has their times. Everyone has their times to go through. This is just my time.
You're feeling a bit down, are you?
Yeah, it's not easy, but...
I offer my congratulations to those of you in front of me passing out today. And you now stand ready to test your leadership and your professional skills in the frontline units of the Corps. You join your units at an exciting and operationally challenging time. To each and every one of you, I wish you best fortune and good luck. Thank you.
It will be a very steep learning experience for him, no question about that. And he'll be changed. In fact, we worry slightly about the effect it might have on him if he has to do
His brother and
things.
his sister too.
Yes. He may have to supervise the killing of other folk, or perhaps even do it himself. I'm told that some of the incidents in Afghanistan are pretty close up and in your face, and I think that's bound to leave its mark on you.
Young officers, to your duties! Quick, march!
Been knocked down before?
Yes, sir.
Have you?
Yes, sir.
Never as bad as this, I bet, hey?
I hate this. Cause it's just like the lads that I really like. It's like I grew up with them. It's just like that. I started training with them, the foundation and all that.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world. I know they're good, strong friends, but at the end of the day, you've been with them, what, 15 weeks? When you think you go on operations with a bloke for 5-6 months, that's when you get to know them. That's when you get true friends with Group 1. Stay in touch with them and I'm sure you'll be fine, alright?
Yes, sir.
Keep your head up high.
Yes, sir.
Now, come here real quick, John. I want you to have a read of this before you fucking go. read that poem underneath it, all right? Yes. Best of luck in the other troop.
Yes, sir.
Come and tell us how you do, yeah?
Yes, sir.
The bottom one.
Is it this one?
I will persist until I succeed. Always will I take another step. If that is of no avail, I will take another and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult. I know that small attempts, repeated, will complete any undertaking. Yeah, that's true.
Next time on Commando, Terry gets a shock diagnosis from the doctor.
This is not an easy condition to treat, and you're going to have to work very hard at it.
And Bertie Carr arrives on the front line and comes under immediate enemy fire.
Some of those call signs spread out that trench, two bunched up there. Enemy fire positions over to the west. Acknowledge, Jacko.